And g'day from down under. My name is Aussie Stern, a country Victorian gamer of Star Wars Armada, Star Wars Legion, X-Wing, and a number of other games. Today is a brief video on my third Shapeway order that I have received, detailing what ships that I have received, detailing how I plan on using them, the just quick overview of what the ships are and how they're going to be used in Star Wars Armada. So starting off with the smallest purchases that I made a purchase of a set of space transports. These are a YU 410, while this is a YG 4210. Both of these are classified as stock freighters, just like the YT 1300. But these were built prior to all the movies. They are only pretty much seen in the Star Wars RPG books, as well as in one of the Star Wars Rebellion comics. Both of these I'm planning on running as part of our campaign as light freighters. So pretty much around hull value of 6, very small value in the way of armaments. Background for both of them is that like both of them are done by Corellian Engineering. Both of them are pretty old. They were precursors to the YT line. So these are already pretty old by the time of Clone Wars. So these would be even older than that. So their speed's not going to be great. They are, like most Corellian ships, interchangeable with their parts range, etc. And literally, they still survive up until the height of the Civil War. Even this one here is pretty much shown in the Star Wars Rebellion comic, as well as the RPG, to the extent that there are actual floor plans for this one for RPG novels in the West Coast Games series. The third one that I purchased, because it comes in packs of 3, is and forgive my pronunciation, it's a Ghtroc 720 transport. Now, this transport is quite a bit famous in the RPG series, as that it is significantly cheaper to purchase than any of the YT classes. If you've played D&D for any of the Star Wars RPG games, this is the one that you probably more than likely start off with getting at lower levels rather than anything fancy like a YT. What it has is that it has a shield already inbuilt into it. It has a laser cannon for front only, but it's also got some significant ability to upgrade itself. It can be modified to have different power plant, and it's said to be a better craft than YT in terms of transporting freight, slower and less maneuverable, but also tougher hull than the YT 1300. On Katie shipyards, there are cards already built for this one. What the rules are for it is that it's got grit, heavy, and it can also, it's rogue as well. So I'll probably run it with the KDY Shipyards version of the Ghtroc freighter. Going up in scale, I've bought another freighter. This time, if you have seen my videos that I have done on my recent campaigns, my Star Wars Sector Command campaign, you would have noticed that one of the ships is this guy. This is a Action 4 transport, bulk transport. And although we don't have any rules for it yet, for those that are seen the Attack of the Clones quite a bit, you will recognize that this is actually canon. This actually appeared in the movie where Anakin and Padme are arriving at Theed Spaceport. This is traveling along the ground into its parking position from a like a transport situation. This, according to a number of the resource books that I have on the Star Wars RPGs, and also some of the other novelizations of Star Wars ships, the Encyclopedia of Star Wars Ships and Vessels, vehicles. This transport is significantly more than a medium transport. It can transport something in the tune of 90,000 cubic ton, while the medium transport can only do 19. So that's certainly a huge amount. Now, here I've just put it on a base with the medium transport to get you an idea of what they look like together. Now, my plans are to either run it as an alternative to one of those medium transports on a flotilla, or potentially running it as a actual separate vessel entirely on a small stand like so. As you can see, it fits well on the single base or on the flotilla base. So I could potentially use both. What rules I plan on using for the ship? Really, I'm not going to use any. I'm going to use this as an alternatively to the MC30, the medium transport, without any weapons, or the one with weapons, because this one can, like anything from Corellian engineering, be modified to actually have weapons. Maybe in time, if Atomic Mass Games or Asmodee might bring out a rule set for this vessel, seeing it is canon. And I would imagine that at that stage, it might be a transport that might have the option of having that slightly better upgrade of a weapon system. Rather than blue dice, maybe a black or even a red on its transport. But anyway, that's the Action 6 transport. The next one that I have purchased, and this time I've bought two of them, is this guy. This is a DP-20 frigate, also known as the Corellian Gunship. For those that have read some of the material, you will recognize the shape of this, as this was the concept art of what the original Millennium Falcon was going to look like. That then George Lucas said, no, I want something different. And then they started to use that as the basis for creating the Corellian Corvette. So, both the Corellian Corvette, Corellian Gunship, done by the same company, both fit on the nice small bases. Both of them good size, but obviously the Corellian Gunship is slightly different, and I'll read you a little bit of as to why. Corellian Engineering Corporation has always been known for their versatility in design. Most of their craft are easily adaptable to a variety of missions. However, such is not the case with the Corellian Gunship. Unlike its close cousin, the Corvette, the gunship is entirely geared for combat. This ship has, has a total of 8 double turbo laser cannons, 6 quad laser cannons, and 4 concussion missile tubes. That's according to the West End Games RPG. Now, the quad laser cannons, they're the same cannons that Luke and Han used on the Millennium Falcon in Episode 4. The double turbo lasers are pretty much the same type of guns that you see on the turrets of the Death Star and one of the big guns. So you can think of this craft has a lot of firepower for such a small size. Adding to that concussion missile tubes, which the concussion missiles are the same missiles that the Millennium Falcon used shooting at the second Death Star. So it's a really, really tough package in a small value. So there are some rules for it, for the actual game for the DP20 within a number of the KDY shipyards, as well as Amobia shipyards, etc. They are pretty good. And obviously, if I decide to run them as a DP20, then I will obviously ask for permission to use these cards, etc. There is also the possibility that I can theoretically run it as an alternative to the Hammerhead Corvette. Just have it like add in the extra weapon slots sort of thing, the enhanced armament sort of thing to generate that extra dice look sort of thing. There are really good videos out there of this craft in action already, and I would certainly recommend taking a look if you are a big fan of Star Wars. Some of these guys that are doing shorts out there are really, really nice in terms of where they're heading with the idea of this. So that's the Corellian Corvette. Now, all the ships that I've mentioned so far, what I'm planning on doing is painting them just generic in the bone color sort of thing, do some washes, etc. This one I'm also going to paint up, but I'm going to more so paint it up like the Corellian Corvette, so making sure that I do things like the actual circles and lines on it, so it's very much thematically looks like its cousins sort of thing. Obviously, you cannot see a lot of detail on it right now because I haven't painted it yet. This is the premium plastics that is used. Same with these ones, sort of thing. This one is a little bit cloudy because there is a lot more components on top of it, sort of thing. I have also, I'll get it in close, there are 3 sections that are used to lighten the model and reduce the amount of resin used to the plastic used to create it. So I've filled those gaps with green stuff and molded it and cleaned it out so that it's now sitting nice and flat. So that means when I spray it, it looks nice, complete, doesn't have any holes in it where it shouldn't. The last purchase that I made was a space station. Now, this is I believe it's a CX-4 space station. Now, for those of you that have watched or played the old Star Wars X-Wing TIE Fighter games, this is the space station that generally you would see in the background or have missions against. It, like many of the other space stations that have been seen in the computer games, there are no rules for it yet. However, I'm planning on using this just with a blank base and putting it on top of the station card, sort of thing, to just give a little bit of a visual feel. Now, this one's already been, when I purchased it, this is called a Fusion Black, in that it uses actual jets of plastic to actually create the model rather than a injection mold system. So slightly different technique to make it. It's still nice and clean. It's nice and black, which I like because that means that I don't have to do too much in the way of a undercoat. I will be undercoating this one anyway after I give it a bit of a wash, just in a black, and then it will go and get painted in like a neutral grey colour, maybe with some highlights. You can see that there are weapon ports here and here against the actual cargo station. There are some lights like interior bay that I can possibly do in colour. All in all, it looks actually very, very nice. But for now, that is everything. My next video I will be doing on my Armada stuff will be for myself painting some of these, doing the undercoat and then doing some painting. So stay tuned for that. But for now, from Aussie Stone, please like, please subscribe, please leave a comment, and happy gaming. I will catch you next time on the table. Bye.